So if you're on, please leave a comment so I know that you're here. And if you share this, then I will choose one person to receive this card that we're making today. So let's get started. It's 11:01. I hate to be late, and I want to make sure that I have plenty of time, and I don't want to keep you too long. So we're going to make this card. It's called a triple point fan club card, and it is actually very, very beautiful and not hard to make. It looks like it is, and it sets up like that. It's kind of hard for you to see it from above, but it does set up. And and so last week I made these what they call the fan fold, and I made these. You might remember that. And so I wanted to make this one because it's just so gorgeous. And so to start out with, we're going to be using this Happy Birthday Wishes set, which is part of the Encircled with Love. And it coordinates with the brand new 1 7/8 inch punch, which now is in you can order it now. So that'll be our sentiment. And then I'm going to be using Berry Burst and Floral Impressions Designer Series paper. So I'll set this aside right now, and I'll show you the measurements, but we are going to go through and cut together. So this is the basic cardstock. It's Berry Burst, and it's 11 by 5.5, scored at 5.5. So this is the card base. Then we have a piece of 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. This will not be cut because it's going to go inside the card. And the rest of these pieces, including the card base, we will cut, and we'll do it together. This is Floral Impressions, and it's 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. And then we have a piece of basic white, which is 5 by 5. And then we have another piece of Floral Impressions that's 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the center of each of these pieces. So the center of a 5 1/2 is 2 3/4. 5 1/2, and it's 2 3/4. Do you ever do this? Pick up something and there's an embellishment right there, ready to use, I guess. So I'm going to mark this at 2 3/4, and I'll turn it sideways so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to line my ruler up here, and I'm going to use a pencil, and I'm going to mark at 2 3/4. So that's the center of the card base, the card front. Then the next piece is the white. We won't cut that one. This is 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. Now, if I were to measure for getting the half, I'm not good at 16ths. So the one way to do this is so you fold your paper, just delicately fold it, make a tiny little crease right there, and then you can mark that. And I'm going to mark the half part. So that's an easy way if you don't want to take time or don't do good with measurements like me. So this is 5 by 5, and so I'm going to mark that at 2 1/2, which is half of 5, of course. So 2 1/2. So I mark that, and then the next piece is again the Floral Impressions, and it's 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Now that's again, I would rather do this because it's so much easier than trying to figure out what that 16th would be, or 8th, or whatever. So I'm just gonna make sure that those are even, and then I'm just gonna gently press that in, and then I could make my mark right there. It makes a little crease in the paper, but you won't see that. Excuse me. And you won't see that, and I'll erase those. So now we're going to cut. So we're going to start with the card base, the Berry Burst card base. And I'm going to be putting that mark. So this mark right here is the halfway point, and I'm going to put that mark in the gully, as I call it, and then I'm going to put in at where it's scored, and then I'm going to cut off that triangle. So I've got one of those, and we'll use that. So I'm going to set it aside, and then we're going to do that same thing to the other side. We're going to put that point in, and then the score line at the top, and then we're going to cut. We're going to slice off that. So now this is the card base, and we're going to set that aside. And then I will be putting the basic white, oops, that's the wrong one, the basic white in here, like that. So we'll do that later. So the next piece is the Floral Impressions, and this one is 5 1/8 by 5 1/8, and I have my little mark right there. It's kind of a big mark, but I can erase that. And again, I'm going to put that into the gully and at the top point. So pointed here and then bottom here. And I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to set that aside because we're going to be using that later. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other side. And this will go right like that. And now this piece is going to go on the front here, like that. And then those pieces will be the cross pieces. So the basic white is 5 by 5, and I'm going to cut that again at 2.5 by putting the point here and the pencil line here. Cut that off, and we're going to use that. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side and cut that off. We won't need this white piece. I could use it, but I won't probably be using it. And then the Floral Impressions 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And again, I have my pencil mark right here. And then I'm going to go to the top right and put that point on the gully. I know there's a more professional name to that, but I don't know what it is. And we'll use that piece. And again, we're going to cut off these. And I always put these up, and I download the video and I put it on YouTube, so you can always find it on YouTube. And my YouTube user's name is Jan's Stamping Creations. If you search for me, you can find, I'll put a link in when I get done with her, I'll put a link to it. And I usually add the measurement, what I use, and put it on the video so you can see what I use. Okay, we're done cutting. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to use the first Designer Series paper piece I cut, and this will be placed on the inside so that so that you can see it. So I'm going to show you how that works. So it'll be like this. I'll put that in here and like that. So first of all, I will add I'm using the Tombow glue, and you know I'm not real fond of it, but sometimes you really need it for so you have a little wiggle room. And so if you get it on a little bit crooked, you can move it for a little bit. So I'm going to use this glue again, and I'm going to add it. I'm going to make sure I get some up in the corner. So I'm trying to be really careful and not squeeze too much out. I think that's my problem, is why I don't like it and I get it all over myself. So I'm just going to add glue, and I'm going to put this on the piece that goes inside, which is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and there's about 1/8 of an inch. If you leave about 1/8 of an inch, yeah, that worked good. And then the next one will be here, and they will meet in the middle. So that's good. I always like that. So if you're on and you just got on, you can come back and see the starting point and how to cut. Let me know that if you're here, and if you share and let me know, I will choose one person to receive this card. Now this card is a 5 1/2 by 5 1/2, so it's not going to fit into our regular envelopes. But there are lots of YouTube on how to make your own envelope. And if you have the old retired envelope punch board, you could make a 5 1/2 or 5 3/4 inch envelope on that. So that's the inside. So now I'm going to add some of the glue and put that inside. I'll go ahead and put this down. Maybe I should put a little in the center. So we're going to put that on the inside of the card. So then when you close the top down, you've got that beautiful paper that shows. I love it. So the next thing we're going to do, so this is the piece we cut off from the front of the card, and we're gonna line these up, and we're gonna put white between them. So basic white will go here, and then this will go here, and these will be our cross pieces, and I'll show you how to put those on. So we'll start with this, and I'm going to add just a little bit up here so we get the tips glued down. Come on. This is my problem. I know it's use your air, but I'm just not comfortable with it. And I see these people doing it all the time, and they don't look all dirty like I do when I come out of my room. But this stuff is fun, is interesting. So this is going to go on the white piece. And this is the last piece we cut, the 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And that will go, and as I said, with the glue, you have a little bit of wiggle room, although I don't need to. I did a pretty good job, amazing. So now we're gonna add the glue to this piece. Hi, Renee, good to see you on here. Thank you for joining. If you didn't get the first part, you can come back and watch the replay and see if you want to make one of these. Beautiful. This is the card we're making just for fun. You probably saw it. And so now this piece goes on the berry burst that was cut from the front of the cardstock. So that goes here. Wouldn't this be an elegant card to give to somebody? Birthday, you could make a wedding card out of it. It's just gorgeous. So that's the first cross piece. And then when I'm saying cross pieces, those are the pieces that go here. So now we're going to add a little more glue. Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining. Thank you for coming today, all of you. I appreciate it very much. And if you share, I will choose one person to receive this card. And I'll have to make my own envelope because it's not going to be big enough. So this piece goes here. And like I said, if you use the Tombow, you do have a little wiggle room, a little space to get it even. And I actually did pretty good, amazingly. And thank you, Renee. Yeah, you'll have to come back and see. It's not complicated. It's just getting the measurements right. And you have to be kind of precise because you do want it to look good. So now this goes here. Right, like that. So now we've got two pieces that will be our front pieces. I'll get rid of this. We won't need this. I could put that in here and add another piece of white, but I don't think I really need it. So we will not, ooh dear, that one scooted off a little bit. So let's get that back in. I still have some wiggle room. Okay, now to put the cross pieces on. Oh, I forgot this. This goes here. And actually, it goes like this. I almost forgot to put that on. Woo. Okay, so now we're gonna add those two. I'll add this Floral Impressions paper to the basic white. And as you can see, I've got some marks there, so I will take those off with my sand eraser. Oh dear. There, that's what I mean by wiggle room. I'm gonna erase these. I looked for my pencil eraser, but I couldn't find it. Okay, I'll get that better later. And now we're gonna add glue here. And we'll add this here. Now we're ready to put the get that off there. Okay, I think that'll be covered up actually. So now this piece is going to go here and this piece is going to go here, and that makes your 3 points. So we'll start with this one, and we're gonna, what we want to do is kind of put that tip here, and then you're going to line up these 2 tips on the side and the bottom of the card. Now, so that I can keep it straight, once I get the glue in, I'm going to make a tiny little mark right where this designer series paper comes in, and I'm going to put it on the berry burst right there like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here so they'll be lined up. So what I need to do is I need to put glue on like I did last week. I'm going to make just a little mark here so I don't go past that mark because I don't want it glued down here. So I'm going to add some, and I want you to be able to see this. So I'm going to add some glue right here and get this. Oh, I told you did just exactly what I didn't want to do. So I'm going to use my, I brought my trusty baby wipes. So I'm just going to go down to that line. So here is the line that I drew when I lifted it up, and I went, first time I went past it. I was busy talking and wasn't paying attention. So we're just going to put that on there. And then I have those 2 marks, so I can line those up exactly where I want it. So right there and right there. Okay, now that's 1 point, and that will dry fine. Now the second one is a little more precise because we want, so I'm going to try to get these points here, and these should be equal in size, and then I'm going to make sure that that is down and the same way there. So we've got just there. Now that's where I want it, because these are equal and then these are equal. So I'm going to make a little mark. So now this time I just want to put glue between here and here. So I'm going to make a little mark here where that designer series paper comes in, and a little mark here where that designer paper comes in, and then one on this side and one on this side. And then I can line them up after I get the glue on. So I'm going to lift this up, keep it in place, and lift this up. And it's moving on me because my hands are sticky. And turn it this way. So I've got this. I lost it again. So I've got that lined up right there, and then right there. So I'll bring this up close. I hope you can see those pencil marks. You might not be able to, but it's right here and right here and right here and right here. And I'm just gonna put glue between those parts. So I'm gonna lift this up and make a mark right here, and then I'll be able to kind of eyeball that. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna add a little bit of a line. So it's right here. So I'm gonna make a little line there so that I don't go over that. And then I'm gonna go up here, and I have a line right here. So I'm just gonna put glue between those two parts right there. Maybe a little bit more right here. And then now I have those marks so that I can now line them up like I wanted it. So here this is where I have to take my glasses off. I can't see. So that is lined up there. So this is the mark, and I'm lining that right up there. And then this is the mark, and I'm lining that right there. And then I'm gonna hold that down so it stays there. Haha, I did it. So then it opens up, and you have your card, and it also stands up, which I think is so cool, that it will stand up. So anybody that receives this is gonna be really impressed, because you can do this. It's easy. So now I'm gonna use the stamp set, and I'm gonna use the Enriched with Love stamp set, and it coordinates with the new Circle Punch, which is 1 7/8. This is the 1 7/8 Circle Punch. So I'm going to stamp in Berry Burst on white, basic white. And happy birthday wishes. And then I'm going to take my 1 7/8 inch punch that out. And then I'm going to use my 2-inch punch, and I'm going to put this away. I'm liable to get it all over everything. And I'm using my 2-inch punch, and I'm going to punch some of the Berry Burst and use that as the frame for it, so it really will stand out. So we will add some, you could just use regular adhesive to this, but I got this here, so I'll just use it. And this will go on and will be framed with that Berry Burst. And I love that. I think that's so cute. And then we're gonna put that on with dimensionals. So I'm gonna put some dimensionals right in the center, and I'm gonna put this right in the center here. So our card, nope, it's not done, not done. We're gonna use some of the 2004-2006 flat pearls, and the Petunia Pop goes really good with this. So I'm gonna use the Petunia Pop. I just love using bling. And I'm gonna put that there, and then a medium one here, and then a small one. There's 3 sizes of these. Let's put the small one right there in the center of that flower. You could actually add more and make it really dress it up. So anyway, it's done. Now that wasn't hard, was it? Truly, it wasn't hard. I got a little bit of glue coming out there. I'm gonna wipe that off because I don't want it to get down. I don't want it to glue down. So there we go, all done. Really cute. So I didn't have time to make too many samples, but I will show you what I did make. These were fun. This is a fun card. And once you get it, you can use up your old paper. And so the first card I made was using the Wildflower Birthday. And I love that gingham. And it just opens up. Well, yeah, I had a little extra glue there. So there's that. And then the Wildflower Birthday comes with these punch outs, and so I put the cake in the center. I didn't put a happy birthday, but I would probably stamp that inside and then I can write a note. I didn't do that because I don't know who's going to receive that. And then this is the, I just love this Daffodil Delight with this paper, and right at the moment, I can't think of what it is, floral something. And so I cut this, I stamped this, or embossed white using the Sunflower 3D embossing folder, and then I hand cut it out and put it, and that's, oops, upside down. And so that is the paper, and that, I think it's called, I can't think of it right now. Of course I can't when I'm online, when I'm talking. So this is a really gorgeous card. I really like that one. And then the other one I made is using the Storybook Memories. It's not, I think I should have used this color on here. It would have shown up better on the fronts, but it's okay. I like it. And we have a little granddaughter having a birthday pretty soon, so I'm sure this will get into her hands. So this is the Storybook Memories Designer Series paper, and it has all of these little cutouts. They're just darling, and this is even from that. So I just added those with some dimensionals, and that's it. So these are the cards, and I will have the measurements. Actually, what I probably will do is have the measurements on my blog. So if you don't know where my blog is, I will put a link on Facebook to my blog, and that will give all the measurements, and then I will redirect everyone back to the video so that they can see how to put it together. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Just as a side, I don't know if you have been aware, but Stampin' Up! Now sells two-tone cardstock. It's a really thin cardstock. It's more like Designer Series paper, and it has a white core. And from today through 9, 10, and 11 through Friday, that is all on sale for 20% off. So if you're looking to try it, you might want to just, make a small order and order some of it. They have sets of it that come in that coordinate with different bundles and different paper. But they also have a lot of plain paper, and it's on one side it would be like garden green, other side is garden green, but it's just a little lighter. So it's two-tone, and then it has the white core. So you actually can sand it down, and I'll show you. I'll use some of it in a live soon so that you can see. I should have done it today, but I already had this planned. So anyway, thank you for joining, everyone. And again, I appreciate it, you taking time out of your busy lives to come on and hear me yak. And you know that I'm human because I'm always making mistakes. And I appreciate your patience with me, and I love sharing with you. So everyone have a great day. Thank you.